Welcome to the Real Estate Espresso Podcast, your morning shot of what's new in the world of real estate investing. I'm your host, Victor Menashe. We've been saying it for a while. There's no such thing as returning to normal. What will emerge from this pandemic is a new normal, and exactly what that will look like is anybody's guess. But there are some clues that the pandemic has amplified. If you're the owner of Class A office space, that's become a hazardous occupation. Deals that were previously in place are getting undone on a weekly basis. Back in May, Shopify announced that all 5,000 of its staff would be working from home permanently. Last week, Pinterest announced it has terminated a 490,000 square foot lease signed just last year. It's a mixed-use development to replace the San Francisco Tennis Club near the company's headquarters campus. The Pinterest lease agreement involved a one-time payment of $89.5 million, a charge in the third quarter of this year, in order to break the lease. And the termination means they'll no longer be on the hook for lease payments of about $440 million over the life of the lease. One of the largest law firms in Toronto just made a decision, which we don't believe has been publicly announced, to keep their lawyers working from home. They're planning to reduce their office space requirements by 2 floors in a Class A office building. The resulting savings are estimated at about $1.4 million in leasing costs per year. Some analysts expect office building values to fall nearly as fast as other forms of commercial real estate, and Moody's estimates the value of office buildings across the U.S. will fall by about 17.2% this year in 2020. A recent report from CBRE shows that on average, new leases are being signed with an average rent concession of 8.9 months of free rent. That's as of the second quarter of this year. That's up from an average of 8.4 months of free rent prior to the pandemic. Facebook recently announced that they expect half their workforce to work from home over the next decade. But there's a bigger shift and consolidation that's been underway for more than a decade. Cook County, which is home to Chicago and numerous other business communities, continues to lose corporate headquarters. When Kmart bought Sears in 2005, they shifted their corporate headquarters from Troy, Michigan, and moved into the Sears headquarters in Hoffman Estates just outside Chicago. Nobody has occupied the former Kmart headquarters, which has decayed over the years. It's built on 40 acres, and the entire site is now a teardown. The Sears campus, which consists of 2.4 million square feet of office space, is also heading in the same direction as the former Kmart headquarters. When Toys R Us shut down in 2018, their corporate headquarters used to house 1,600 employees at its Fort Wayne, New Jersey campus. The office park was built on a 200-acre site set in a beautiful wooded area in central New Jersey. Many companies that would have previously located in New York City moved out into the central New Jersey area in the mid-1980s. For example, Merrill Lynch moved many of their Wall Street data centers out of New York into a corporate campus also in New Jersey. Today, the landscape is littered with functionally obsolete suburban corporate campuses. Many of the former Bell Laboratory offices, also in central New Jersey, also sit empty. Suburban office parks have lost their luster for a variety of reasons, including a preference among younger workers for life in a more dynamic urban center, rather than the sleepy suburbs. The rapid pace of advancement has made the need for clerical and processing jobs that would have been previously in the suburbs completely obsolete. And these buildings are about as useful as the fax machines that you can still find hidden in the closets. Allstate Insurance had a 530,000 square foot suburban campus not far from the Sears headquarters. Allstate moved out of that complex in 1992. It went unsold and sat vacant until 2012 when Allstate demolished the building. The taxable value of that property plunged from $14.7 million in 2009, and last year Allstate's property tax bill was less than $15,000. Today, the 62-acre site is an empty field. Allstate moved all its workforce into more dense urban settings, including a property on the waterfront in downtown Chicago. So the trend was back into the urban core. But today, if you drive around New York City, you'll see that 90% of office workers are not coming into the office. Even WeWork has about 2 million square feet of empty space in New York City. The folks at Twitter have told their workforce they can work from home if they choose. When they do reopen, they expect to occupy only about 20% of their current office space. Google announced a month ago it would keep nearly 200,000 employees and contractors working from home until at least next July. So, is the office model dead? Well, no, but the model for working is changing, and companies are definitely going to reduce their footprint. They're going to reconfigure office space to include more meeting rooms, temporary offices, and configurable flex space for those times when collaboration is needed. Right now, what we're seeing is an acceleration of a trend and a significant downward shift in the value of office space. Not only the suburban office space, but also the prime office space in the downtown urban core. As you think about that, have an awesome rest of your day. Go make some great things happen. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.